Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Student Emerging Leaders podcast. My name is Virginia Walker, and I'm one of the co-chairs for the Student Emerging Leaders. And I happen to have one of our special guests with us today, attorney Kevin Smith.
Yes, sir. Thank
How
you.
are you doing
I'm
today?
good. How are you?
Good, good, good.
Yeah,
So, how are you enjoying the conference so far?
it's been fantastic.
Yeah.
For those who may not know, Gerald Smith was my father,
Yes.
and this organization was near and dear to his heart.
Yes.
So I was just telling Brother Wheeler when we were walking down how he would just be in tears. He'd be so proud to see the organization still thriving
Yeah.
and doing exceptional things for young people because that's what he was about.
Yes, no, I agree.
Yeah.
He was such a pivotal part of the organization. And so, how do you feel like being here and seeing his legacy continue?
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
He always believed young people were the future, and the fact that National Association Black Detroit and all of
Yes.
the affiliate chapters are still focused on young people will
Mhm.
really do his heart well right now. Yeah.
Yes. And were you aware? So I just learned this actually while being here at Detroit that Detroit holds the most national presidents.
Oh, I did not know that. That
Yes.
is amazing.
Too. Yes.
Didn't-
Yes. And so it's
Yeah.
just so amazing just to be back at our home base, doing the work. And so what have you looked forward to most at this conference this year?
Just hearing the amazing stories about the work that's being continued
Yeah.
and seeing new leadership that's rising to fill the gaps,
Yes.
as we've talked about today, and to make things possible for young people, not just in the city, but nationally.
Yes.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit about the work that you do here in Detroit?
So I'm an attorney by training, but right now I'm in government. I'm deputy state treasurer
Oh,
for the state of
wow.
Michigan, and I oversee all 1,800 units of local government in terms of their fiscal health,
Mhm.
and also I manage all the debt for the state and for local issuers, the bonds when they go and borrow money from the markets, just to make sure that the state of Michigan is functioning well financially and just fiscally sound. Yeah,
Nice.
a lot of big words for just saying
Yes. So
do what
what
I
can
can.
you I guess, inform us young folks, to get in terms of getting involved in politics?
Boy, getting involved in politics. So I didn't run for office,
Yeah.
but I would just say follow your passion
Okay.
and don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Hmm.
Right. And so at the end of the day, getting involved is just about taking that step forward and having the courage to stand and have a voice
Hmm.
in the room and to advocate for our people, for our communities, and for the things that you believe in are right. And
Hmm.
I just encourage young people to do that,
Yeah.
continue to do that. Yeah.
And I heard your mother's here as well.
She is, and I hope you get her on this podcast.
Yes,
She's
that
sitting
is
right over there.
definitely. And are
Yeah.
there any few other words that you would like to leave us with before, we go on to our next guest?
Uh, my father used to always say, that you had to have courage, and the measure of a man or woman,
Yeah.
right, is not how you are in good times.
Hmm.
He used to always say, "What do you do when your head's in the lion's mouth?"
Yes.
Right? Because that's when you have to dig deep, you have to press through. And I
Hmm.
think we are in these times, and so now is the time to really lift each other up and have a voice and stand firm
Agreed.
to do the things that we need to do to continue to protect our communities and our people. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
Good.
Give it up, audience members,
Thank
for
you.
uh, attorney Kevin Smith.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Have a good one.
You too.
You doing?
Good.
Where you from?
Connecticut. Yeah. What's your first name?
Dr. Hill. They call me Dr. Hill, Miss Harris. Some real good friends from Connecticut.
Yes,
Mm,
we are.
Harvard.
Hmm. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. We have Dr. Ann Smith with us, who we were honoring at the symposium this morning in honor of her husband, her late husband. Can you tell us a little bit about what work your husband has done, Dr. Gerald Smith has done for the community?
How much time do I have? No.
All the time you need.
He transitioned from an educator um, to explore the business world, but he realized that wasn't where his passion was.
Mm.
So he started out in a downriver, as we call it, agency that addressed the needs of people,
Mm-hmm.
but they weren't people of color.
Yeah.
So then he transitioned over to what we call the East Side, and that was the deep East Side, where it was everybody looked like us.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was tapped to come to work with the Kellogg Foundation. He was like, "No, I won't do that. I want to stay here with the people."
Yeah.
Somebody said to him, "Don't worry about the people. Go get the money."
Yes.
So then he transferred to the Kellogg Foundation, and he wore them out about the needs, the resources that we here in Detroit needed. And because he was so aggressive about it, they said, "Well, let us do this. Let us, in so many words, push you to Detroit. You run your own thing." So therefore, it became um, the Detroit office for Kellogg that
Mm-hmm.
evolved into Youthfield Detroit. And when he got to Youthfield, that was his passion.
Mm-hmm.
And they talked about he believed that youth should make decisions. And so they found this building, they purchased it, and the youth were involved in the planning. They painted the building orange. And everybody kept saying, "Why in the world would you
Yeah.
paint that building orange?" He said, "That's what the youth wanted. It's their building."
Nice.
And so from that, he got into um, putting them in leadership roles, helping make the decision about what would impact their lives. His whole thing was to empower the youth.
Yes. I love that message. And, especially like when we look at what's happening in the world today, our non binary and trans youth, right, are, are at a catapult in terms of, being displaced a lot of times, even from our own community as Black folks, right? And that's where a lot of my research is, because I'm actually currently working on my doctorate
Oh,
as
wonderful.
well. And I defend actually next Wednesday.
Oh,
So in less
wonderful.
than a week, I'll be doctor alongside you. And I'm
Oh,
just so thrilled to be able to do that and to be able to give back to the community in the same way that you and your husband has done.
and that's wonderful to hear because if Gerald was sitting here today, his question, "What you gonna do next?" That's nice. So you got your PhD, but what you gonna do next? He was always focusing on where do I go from here? You don't get
Yeah.
stuck in one place.
Mm-hmm.
And he was very adamant about once I accomplish one thing and I look down the tunnel, my tunnel doesn't end there because the light
Correct.
keeps moving. So
Yes.
that was his thing. Great, you're going to be a doctor, but what you going to do next?
Yes. I plan to start an agency. That's my
Wonderful.
goal.
Yesterday, I met a young man from Hartford, Connecticut,
Yeah.
and he came up to talk about his experience with Gerald when he came here one year and toured Youthfield. He said he took the model back to Hartford,
Yeah.
but the dream hasn't become a reality yet, but he's still pushing.
And you
And
got to
that's
keep going.
and that's the powerful message is that each one has to reach one to help one.
Correct.
Pay it forward.
Correct. And my very first conference here was in New Orleans 2 years ago.
Okay.
And I remember I was changed after coming to this conference, right?
Absolutely.
And when I came to this conference, I'm now co-chair of the Student Emerging Leaders, vice president of my local chapter, the
Wonderful.
Greater Hartford chapter, right? As well as co-chair of the nominating committee. And to continue to, pour into myself, but also pouring back to folks that are behind me that are younger, but also pouring into my elders, right? Because you all have paved the ways
That's
before
right.
us all. And so I have to give back in the same way that I receive.
That's right. And it's important that we keep that message flowing. Each one reach one, and then remember to pull someone forward and pay it forward.
Correct.
Not just with your service, with your dollars too, because when we
Yeah.
think about the youth and those enrolled in college, I attended an HBCU.
Hmm.
We don't survive until we as a people decide that our money counts there as well.
Correct. Yes.
And thank you for having me.
No, thank you. This
Okay.
is great.
All right.
Please allow me.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Student Emerging Leaders Podcast. How are you
Thank you.
doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I like to do some warm greetings.
Yes, I'm Dr. Megan Hicks from Wayne
Yes,
State University.
yes. Welcome, Dr. Megan Hicks. I am
Thank
so
you.
excited to be able to meet you in person after seeing you at the symposium. I mean, you did absolutely phenomenal in
Thank
terms of
you.
your message and what you were sharing on the panel. And I can remember what I can recall most from the conversation was how you talked about the grass. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Touching the grass, yes. And so in therapy, my therapist always says to kind of ground yourself when you're burnt out. You just have to be still and go outside and touch the grass. And I relate that to my work because as academics, I'm a professor, we are sometimes stuck in the ivory tower,
Yeah.
as in we're in our offices just writing away and we're not in the community. But to really make a true impact in the community, you need to go outside and you need to touch grass and you need to do the work in the community to make that impact. And
Yeah.
so my touching grass is to volunteer with organizations and earn their trust and trying to get involved in whatever way I can and like use the university resources to uplift or assist in any way that
Yeah.
we can.
That's amazing work. And I really love that you said that because I think that was a reminder for our elders that have come before us to really look back,
Mhm.
at the grass, which is
Mhm.
the younger generation,
Oh, I
right?
love
And how
that.
to
I love that.
uplift. And I think our executive board at this time is really looking at that and doing that,
I
right?
love that.
And is giving back and pulling us up, right? My first conference was about 3 years ago here, and I never thought I would be in a role like this doing a podcast or serving as the co-chair for the Student Emerging Leaders, or also serving as the co-chair for the um, nominating
Mhm.
committee to elect our executive board, right, and to be in that process of doing that. And so it's just nice that you actually had that student, that young
Mhm.
person's
Mhm.
voice. Can you tell us a little bit about your research in terms of what you defended your dissertation on?
Yeah. So my work focuses on community and contextual factors that influence health risk behaviors among Black youth and Black families. So my big umbrella I tell everybody is I'm rooting for everybody Black.
Yeah.
We want us to succeed, and there is multiple layers, like your family, the community that you live in, the school that you go to, policy that can really impact your individual well-being, and in this case, in my work, the Black child's well-being.
Hmm.
And so that's what my work focuses on. Yeah.
Nice. And what have you enjoyed thus far about the 58th annual conference?
I just love coming together in our community to elevate and celebrate what we're doing because we do a lot for our
Yeah.
community. And so just to be around my people, like sometimes at work we are a few in the office.
Hmm.
So to come together and be together, it
Yeah.
just fuels me even more to go back out and do what we do. So
Thank you so much. Give it up for
thank you.
Megan Hicks, Dr. Megan Hicks, excuse me.
Thank you.
Mr. Hester, how
Mom,
are you?
I'm quite well. How
Good,
do you
good,
do?
good. I do well.
Very
Thank you.
good. Thank you for having me.
Hotep.
Yes, Hotep.
Yes.
Back at you.
Yes. What you shared today was deeply
Thank you.
powerful
Oh, I
and
am
inspirational.
so happy to be here.
Yes.
This is so important. I think the work you do and the work we do as advocates, but more specifically as social workers,
Yes.
see, you have a lot of power and you've got the research. Typically, you're the smartest person in the room.
Mm.
So you've got to use your power. You got to speak up. You got to shape public opinion, and you ultimately will impact public policy. I applaud you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. So, how did you become Mr. Hester?
No, I love every day. I have been so richly blessed. I started off as a firefighter in my 20s.
Wow.
I was on Wayne State University's campus going to school full time. Detroit got its first Black mayor, and he said, I think public service jobs should reflect the public they serve.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I got excited about that ideal because I thought he was making a difference, and I understood the tragic history of race relations with police officers, racist police officers, and the fire service was not radically different. So I left campus, joined the fire department, and kept going to school and just pursuing different opportunities.
Yes. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and just for the record, I was not your average firefighter. I was extraordinary.
Oh, what made you extraordinary?
No, because we took special care
Yeah.
for ourselves, and we were determined to recruit the next generation of
Yes.
young African American firefighters, and we were just determined to be good firefighters. I mean, we're just macho, we're into that.
Yeah.
We're gonna knock the wall in and kick the door down, whatever it took, but we're gonna put that fire out, and we're gonna save lives.
So I have a quick question for you
Yes.
in terms of bridging gaps, right? And so we have a lot of elders within our organization of National Association of Black Social Workers and looking to bridge that gap
Yes.
of, connecting youth and, young professionals in the field. Like, what do you see as bridging that gap?
I heard, Brother Robert Thornton said it this morning very masterfully. We've got to welcome young people into our experiences, and sometimes it might mean moving aside. I think there's a place called convergence where the brilliance and the energy of a young person and the maturity and the discipline of an older person, there's a place called convergence where we can work together.
Yeah,
But we've got to listen a little more than we lecture.
yeah,
And, the older we get, the smarter. Sometimes we like to hear ourselves talk. And that's why I even made the reference to the Black church very often as an aging experience. You look
It is.
around and it's really just all old people celebrating each other. But we've got research that shows young people want to be with other young people. So if it's all old people up in the pulpit, you're going to have all old people in the congregation. So we've got to be very deliberate about bridging the gap. And people like Dr. Gerald Smith, he always paid attention to young people.
yeah.
And what I've come to learn, people don't really remember how you dress or how many degrees you got
Yes.
or what kind of car you drove. People will remember how you treated them,
Make them feel, right?
how you
Yes.
made them feel.
Mhm.
So when people from my generation pay attention to people in your generation, you'll always remember that.
Absolutely.
So I just think we better do a better job of paying attention to young people and
Yeah.
encouraging them.
Yeah, and then we even look at a lot of our leaders, right? We look at Dr. Martin Luther King
Yes,
Jr.,
yes.
winning the Nobel Peace Prize
Yes.
at 35.
At
years
35,
old.
and much of his work was done in his 20s.
Exactly.
So we need to get out of the way, right?
yes, absolutely.
Look, that sister there, she barely 30 years old. You see her brilliance?
Yes,
Barely.
yes.
And we just need you guys, but y'all got to step up also.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
You follow me? What are you,
Yes.
22 maybe? What
Oh,
do you-
I wish. I am 38.
Are you
Thank
38 already?
Yes.
You
I'll be Dr. Walker next Wednesday. I just
Doctor?
went. Yes.
Applause, applause, applause. What's your degree?
Counselor education and supervision.
That's pretty good. And what's your academic background? What's your
I'm a
graduate
licensed
degree?
professional counselor.
Yes, and undergraduate degree.
My undergraduate is in communication disorders.
Oh, you're just smart.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. So we need you guys. I think advocacy should be research based, and I think all of you brilliant
Absolutely.
scholars, you guys have to commit to put pen to paper.
Yeah.
You guys got to navigate the talk circuit. You got to be out there shaping opinion. You know what the issues are,
Absolutely.
but we need your scholarship and we need your voice.
Thank you for this.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, we good?
Yes, we're
Thank you
good.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for
All right.
being here.
How you doing? Robert Thornton. How you doing?
Good, good, good. Thank you.
So Hartford, Connecticut, huh?
Hartford, Connecticut.
Yeah, I've been to Connecticut a couple of times. Get pretty cold up there in the wintertime.
It does, and this is actually not that far off here in Michigan.
Yeah, we cold is our middle name. But our winters past few years have been relatively mild. This year is old school.
Yes. Yeah, so welcome, Mr. Thornton. How
Thank
you
you.
been?
Blessed and highly favored, filled with the Spirit, continuing to
Oh,
prosper. Boom, shaka laka, boom. That's
boom,
my
boom.
story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yes. So, how are you enjoying the conference so far?
Immensely. I'm here today for the panel discussions,
Yes.
but I've enjoyed it immensely. In my days, former, when I was at New Detroit, I was a young executive in New Detroit, I used to belong to the National Association of Black Social Workers. So I'm
Oh,
very familiar with the organization. I've
yes.
always had a love and respect for it,
Yes.
and particularly for the folk who work in the vineyards,
Yes.
and especially for its leadership, because
Yes.
with leadership, we know goes much responsibility, and it
Yes.
is a major task. And I
Hmm.
understand you're vice president of your chapter,
I
so you
am.
understand what I mean.
Yes.
People
And
have
it's
it.
because of this organization,
eh,
like pulling me up. And so I said, you know what? If you're making me, you're pulling me up, I have to be accountable.
You no more than that. You responded to the call.
Yes, I
That's
did.
first important. So you responded, and certainly now you have to be, as you say, um, what's the language you just used? You said you have to be accountable.
Accountable, yes.
Absolutely.
A servant to the charge.
So I'm sorry. I just want to ask you one
Yeah.
question. So tell me about your perspective about why the work that you do is important.
So for me, why the work is important is because there is within the black community, I identify as non-binary.
Okay.
And so within the black community, we have this divide where this dual stigma where it's like we don't always fit in to the black community as a black person, but the black community also then takes us in, right? But there's still some historical trauma there. And then within the queer community, we're not accepted because we're black,
Okay.
right? And so for me, this work is important in terms of bridging that gap and uniting us and continuing to have that education and that conversation that is, sometimes there's an elephant in the room, like we don't want to talk about it. And so I'm that bridge to talk about it, right? And this is why I do this work, because non-binary, trans, queer folks are black folks, right? And
Amen.
when we look at the statistics, black, non-binary, and trans women are the highest rate of black people dying. The highest rate. When we look at queer black youth, they're the highest rate that are homeless, right? Have no homes to go to. And so this is why I do this work.
So what I hear you saying is that discrimination knows no color, it knows no gender. It's discrimination.
It's
Okay.
discrimination altogether.
And the other thing about that is because you are black
Yeah.
and because you are queer,
Yeah.
then you're fighting a double double.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, I am first and foremost want to congratulate you for taking on the responsibility of being an advocate for your community,
Yeah.
both communities. And then I will also say that everybody has the right to self-determine.
Yes.
Never let anybody marginalize you.
Correct.
They didn't birth you. They don't own you. When's the last time they paid your bills? All
Never.
right, and I'm gonna leave that alone. So I know
Yes.
you had a couple of questions for me, so I'm
Yes.
listening.
Yes, yes. So what have you been enjoying thus far here at the conference?
Well, first of all, the leadership,
Yes.
the culture of the
Yes.
conference, the camaraderie that exists amongst the people who have taken the time to come here, and then I think most important, the commitment people are making on behalf of Black people
Yes.
in every community around this nation. There is this mindset and this quest to uplift and enrich the lives of Black people. Stand in the vanguard and on the battlefield
Yes.
to advance opportunities for Black people. And these are opportunities that we deserve, are entitled to, and that people are trying to take away from us. But there is that vanguard
Yeah.
of people in leadership like yourselves who are saying, "Not on my watch."
Correct.
And so that I'm excited about this leadership coming together from around the country, pooling their collective wisdom to identify not only strategies but to rewrite the narrative,
Correct.
because all success begins in thought. Napoleon Hill said, "If you think you're beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, then don't. Think you like to, but think that you can't. It's almost certain you won't. Life's battles don't always go to the quickest or fastest man. But sooner or later, the person who wins is the person who thinks they can." We've got to believe in ourselves, and then we have to act on our beliefs.
I agree. Because, I think this is also a shift in today's world where even black people seeing themselves in leadership roles in the work profession. So, what would you say to that in terms of when they don't feel like they can do it?
Just remember from whence we came. Think about our history, okay, who we are. People tell us we're one thing, but we know who we are. We are people who come from an African people. Okay,
Yes.
we come from a heritage that is rich and unparalleled. All right, we are the people who built the pyramids. We are the people who were performing cataract surgery in 250 BC. We are the people who uh, um, was sailing the seas between Africa and the North American continent long before the Europeans even came out of the feudal system.
We built the White House.
Absolutely. Designed and built it. The White House and the streets that it sit on.
Exactly.
So, yeah, we are a talented and gifted people. We know that. We have to remind ourselves sometimes who we are and from whence we came.
Yeah.
And not only that, I think it's incumbent upon you and your generation to begin to infuse and educate the next generation and pass that gas can on. Let them never forget from whence they came.
Yes. I know, and I think it's so important to continue storytelling, right?
Absolutely.
Within the Black community, and because as we could see, our histories are being erased from the history textbooks. I'm a Caribbean American. My family is from Jamaica.
Okay.
So I'm a first generation American, and a lot of my history was told from home because there wasn't in the textbook.
Absolutely.
And so I think that's so important as a Black community to remind ourselves that storytelling is so important in everything that we do.
Yeah, we have to keep the stories alive so that allow the researchers and the scholars to dig deeper and to find truth.
Exactly.
And to make sure that when we tell these stories going forward, not only do we tell the historical stories, but we tell the stories of now. And we make sure that all the information that we pass on reflects a current and well-documented database, that it is as current as it possibly can be, that it is well-documented as it can be. And we are, and I'm saying we, but I'm saying your generation, it's your responsibility and your duty to make sure that that's being done. I know it's a tough job, but somebody got to do it.
But see, I think what you said there is we, and that's right. We. It's not. Just
No,
us.
it's absolutely.
It's we. And I think that's that thread. In terms of connecting us, is we, because even though until we go into the grave, that's when our work is done, right?
I love the attitude.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's we. You know what I'm saying? I know that we do get tired as elders, but it's we. You know what I'm saying? Because just as much as it's on us, it's on all of us. Yeah.
So I will say this, because it's easily, it reflects in my mind very easily. When I think about Dr. Gerald Smith, Dr. Smith was always trying to help people improve themselves. He was always helping people move next level. And even when he was, quote unquote, disciplined or chastising than you do, he did it in a way with kindness and in love. Always from the position that you can be better than you are, and it's my responsibility to help you get there. And I think if we all take on that position, the ownership for helping to build the next generation, to help them see their greatness and their potential, they will rise to meet the occasion.
Correct. I agree, because that's how I am. I'm rising to the occasion. I, was tapped on my shoulder, and I took that as a great sense of responsibility.
Okay. So I will just say, as I take my leave, thank you so very much for this opportunity to share. Okay. We will continue to watch with pride and affection as you and your peer group and your new vanguard of leaders at NABSW continue to move this work forward.
Thank you
God
so
bless
much.
you.
God bless you as well.
All right.
Now we have the queen. I'm good. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Yes.
Let me get around here. I think I got it. Okay. Hey. Okay. Yep. Got it.
Sister Dr. Thomas.
No, just Alice Thompson or Mother Alice, but not doctor yet. But congratulations on you. But somebody's going to give me an honorary one. This is why everybody call me Dr. Thompson. I said, folks, I'm not Dr. Thompson. But it's been working like that for a long time. Oh, I wasn't meant to go. That was not to be on air, but okay. Thank you.
Good morning, Mother Thomas.
Thompson. Good morning to
Thompson.
you, my dear sister.
Yes, how are you?
I'm well. Thank you.
Yes, and so I called you Mother, but you're really Doctor, because we're going to give you that honorary doctor
Oh, okay.
here today.
I receive it. Thank you very much.
Yes. And how have you been, and how have you been enjoying the conference so far?
The conference, as always, is fabulous.
Mm.
It's energizing.
Mm-hmm.
It's encouraging.
Yes.
It is so full of love. So every time I come to the conference, we're enveloped with love from all over the place. So the greatest gift is connecting and learning, being energized, inspired, feeling the love, and going back home charged up.
Yes, I know. Back home. Where's back home for you?
Right here, Detroit,
Right here in
Michigan.
Detroit, Michigan. Yes. What up, though?
Yes, though. What up, though?
I love that. I just learned that while being here in Detroit, and and so much of the culture is infused here in
Yeah,
Detroit.
yeah.
Can you tell us young folks a little bit of what you do here in Detroit?
Well, I first call myself a servant leader. And over the years, the work that I do has become what I call my ministry. So the ministry I have is living out the code of ethics of NABSW. The ministry I have is loving our people, loving our community, and advocating for them in all spaces. So in the last, I'm gonna say 5 years, beside my regular paid job,
Yeah.
and let me say this, I worked at Black Family Development for 26 years, and I retired from that, but not from work. So when I was at Black Family, I formed two subsidiaries,
Yeah.
which are now their own 501c3.
Oh, nice.
One of which Dr. Keisha Allen runs. So I founded that institute for international training. So she runs that. I also formed a school management company. And for several years, I managed a charter school.
Nice.
I began that work in 1998 when my church started the school, and I ended my time there. Well, I shouldn't say ended, but I transitioned in June of 2025.
Nice.
So I'm still working a lot in Lansing, advocating for policies and funding for our students in our school, particularly in Black communities.
Nice.
And so my advocacy work is about equity funding because for years we did not experience equal funding in our schools.
Yeah.
Suburban schools got more than city and urban schools. They got more. So we changed that to get equal funding. Now the issue is we want equity funding. Equity means that you give more to those who need more.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned this morning, a great win that we had in Lansing, Michigan, our state capital, 3 years ago, was to get into law what's called the Opportunity Index.
Oh, nice.
And that index is about a weighted formula, which means that every school now typically gets a certain foundation amount for their children. We're getting about $10,000 now in Michigan per child. But if you are a school district that has a high poverty index, we have a weighted scale that you give more to those districts. So in the at-risk funding line, which is a state funding requirement, you give more money. So we have in law now that you must give more money to schools based upon the poverty index. That was a huge win, right?
Yes.
Huge win. And so last year, we were able to get a 25% increase. That happens because we go to the state capitol advocating. We have advocacy days. We meet with legislators, right? And then we go before the committees and we testify with data. The data is telling them how this increased funding is not just going to help Black children, it's going to help all kids who live in poverty in Michigan. And there are as many white kids in poverty as there are Black kids in the state of Michigan, right? So when they can see how it benefits their community, we get them to win. They win in and join with us, right? And we win. So this year, whenever the budget time comes for the state budget, we began to work with our governor and those in power to influence their vote to increase the funding for our school. So that's my labor of love. I'm a pure advocate now for our people, our community, and our children.
Yes. So what do you think that young folks can do in terms of advocacy? Because I think that work is so important. I agree.
The first thing I would say is this, is get connected. One connection is the National Association of Black Social Workers.
Period.
Get connected.
Mhm.
But here's our responsibility.
Yeah.
We too have to connect with them while they're in school, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Connect with them in terms of being their mentors, supporting them financially, engaging with them. Let our experience and our rich history be an asset to them, right? So as we begin to work with them, as we do here at the National Conference, if we show support for them, give scholarships for them, they know that we care. So it is our job to bridge the connection to get them involved, right? And not just involved, but a space to let their voice be heard. When they know their voice is being heard, when they know their voice matters, they will stay engaged. And then we can go through a teaching program to show them how much power they have. Sometimes the problem is we don't realize that we have this power.
Yeah.
We have lots of power.
We do.
Our voice has power.
Mhm.
What we say has, what we do has power. And here's the strongest power we have that I preach constantly. We have so much power in that voting booth.
Yes.
So my real push has been lately, not lately, but for the last 30 years about voting. So as a CEO, I have always sent emails out to my staff during every election season saying we have primary elections coming up. Here's a voting date, right? Now, I do not tell people how to vote unless they ask me privately. I will tell them. I tell my children and grandkids how to vote because they're not. So, but the point I'm making is this:
Yeah.
I always encourage staff to vote. Now, I'll say this: if you have not voted, you may leave the office right now and go vote. All you have to do is come back and show us I have voted sticker, and you will get paid. That's how serious I am about voting. Or I walk around and say, have you all voted today? So I've always encouraged staff to vote because unfortunately, statistically, we're not getting out to vote. So in Detroit, for example, we have many registered voters, many, many, many.
Yeah.
But less than 50% come out to vote. Something's wrong with that. We don't realize our power. And so you heard Hester speaking when he was speaking about if you get young folks to begin voting early, they vote for life, right? So when I had young kids, and I have great grandkids, right? I took my kids to the voting booth with me. They saw their mother vote. So they're voters. My grandchildren, they know their grandma want to ask them one question. Did you vote today? I have a granddaughter in Atlanta, and she will say, Grandma, before you call me, yes, I voted. Here it is. I voted. That's all I want. But those are powerful things. So my word to young folks about being engaged is we have to show them that their voice matters, their opinion matters, and their gifts and talents matter. Connect with them. And then we have to be givers.
Yes.
What do they need? They need sometimes financial support.
Correct.
They need mentorship, right?
Correct.
And we must give that to them.
Yes, as you can see, we have our support, student emerging leaders.
That's right.
Throughout the conference, you
Yes.
know, so that we can get more students,
Yeah.
more young professionals
Yeah.
here to the conference.
Yeah.
Because we understand when our folks graduate from college,
Yeah.
they're not having a piggy bank waiting for them to say, here, buy your first home, go travel somewhere. And
Yeah.
so they need support in order to get here.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Right.
agree. Absolutely. And it's our job to support them.
Yes.
While we work with folks who are sometimes challenged, we're not poor social workers. Stop acting like you're poor,
Yeah.
right? And you have to believe this, that we are blessed to be a blessing to others.
Correct.
You must believe this, that we have more than enough to beat every situation. So our belief system drives our behavior. Our code of ethics, I keep this with me all the time.
Me too.
All the time, right?
It's my Bible.
We have to remind ourselves all the time what we believe
Yeah.
and walk in that belief. If we adopt this code of ethics and live it and breathe it, we'll be doing miles what we are right now. Great progress with our students in our community.
Yeah.
This was wisdom when it was created, long time ago.
Yeah.
Wisdom. So use it constantly to move our agenda and support our young people.
Yes, like last night we had our student emerging leaders social mixer,
Yes.
which was a great success. We had over 130
Wow.
individuals that came through,
Wow.
young and elder.
Yeah.
And it was amazing to see that gap bridge through music.
Yeah.
You know, we threw it back to the 90s, had the 90s themes, outfits,
Yeah.
African garb inside
Yeah.
the room. And it was just amazing to see the community.
Yeah.
And everyone supported each other when folks went up to sing for karaoke and all of that.
Yeah.
And everyone sang together, danced together. It was amazing.
It was unity. Unity.
Yes, unity.
We used to do this a long time ago. We haven't lately, though. We used to be encouraged sometimes. Find a student and bless them financially.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It may be $20 or $30. Just put it in their
Correct.
hands, right?
Yeah.
But I haven't heard us do that. But sometimes just find a student and say, listen, God told me to bless you.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yes. I blessed a student the other day for a concert ticket.
Yes.
Because they were like, oh, you know, I can't afford. I say, here you
That's
go.
how you do it. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
family.
We are family.
Yes. No matter which part of the U.S.
Yeah.
or country we are from, we are family.
I agree. And that family connection makes a difference, right?
Mhm.
I love it.
Yes. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for all that you are doing.
thank
It's
you.
amazing. You're a blessing, and I'm so encouraged.
Oh, thank you. And I'm always encouraged by you too.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll give you a break. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Mhm. Mm-mm. Oh, yes. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the Student Emerging Leaders podcast. We are so great. We'll have more interviews coming soon.